Welcome, this is an introduction to Adobe Illustrator. I'm going to start a new document, clicking File, New or Control N. I'm going to click OK. This gets me an artboard. This is where I can draw. I'm going to start with using a rectangle. I can push M for rectangle tool, and I'm going to draw a rectangle. By default, it's filled with white, so if we look on the left, it's got white fill. I can double click that and I'm going to change it to red. The outside is called the stroke. If I double click on the left there, I can then choose a different color. I'm going to choose something really easy to see, a nice green. To begin with, that stroke is very thin, it's 1 point. I'm going to make it much bigger to see on screen. So far, I've made a rectangle filled with red with a green stroke outline. If you notice, each corner has an anchor and it has a center. Objects like this are drawn mathematically or based with vectors. It's different to pixel-based drawing application. Next, I'm going to show you the selection tools. Selection, the dark arrow, just allows me to click, drag, and move and do basic resizing, and if I get the mouse in the right place, to rotate. Control Z for undo. The other option is direct selection, and if I want to make changes, I can change the path, that's the line between it. So if I click that, I can drag, double click it if it's going to let me. I have to click the anchor, and I can use the arrow out to the side. I can undo that. I can grab a whole path if I've clicked the anchor and the anchor, and then grab the path, and I can move it around. So I can change that however I like. If I want to make a copy of that, I'm going to hold down Alt and drag. So now I have two objects. If I put them over the top of each other, I could join these if I wanted to. So I go back to direct selection, highlight both. If I only have one highlighted, it won't work. I'm going to come over to Shape Builder tool, click that. Now as I hover over each of these sections, you can see that they are highlighted. If I didn't have both highlighted and I only had one, and I went to Shape Builder, it wouldn't work because it wouldn't recognize that I'm trying to deal with both. So I'm back to highlighting both, Shape Builder tool. So I'm going to click, hold the mouse down, move through each section, and then release. That has now made one shape. Next thing I'm going to try is to change the type of shape. So if I click and drag, then I can pull down and see different shapes. Rectangle, rounded rectangle, ellipse, polygon, star, flare. So I'm going to use ellipse. I'm going to draw a big circle, and it keeps the stroke and fill like it did before. And I'm going to make this much, much larger. Now, it's blocked everything else because it's in front. I'm going to right click this object, choose Arrange, Send to Back. So now you'll see the front object is now the first thing I made. I'm going to highlight both of these by using the selection tool, and I'm going to align them center and align them center vertically, so they're already vertically aligned. I'm going to use a Pathfinder tool. If the Pathfinder tool is not showing, click Window, go down to Pathfinder. I'm going to subtract the front from the rear. That's minus front over here. Not sure why it's not in the same place. Minus back. So I'm going to go minus front, and that's cut a gap out through the middle. And if I want to, I can now move this all around, and now that's actually a gap. So if I wanted to show you something else, change the send to back. So you'll see that's behind. there's now a big gap there, so if I want to show anything through that hole, if I wanted to, I could put a picture, I could do anything I like with it. If I do some arrangement here, get horizontal, near enough to horizontal, maybe I want to take a section out of it. Gonna minus the back one and take a chunk out. Maybe I want to repeat that and do that from both sides. Highlight all of that, align center, distribute so that it's nice and even, and remove the back. Start making a nice little shape for my logo if I want to do it that way. So that's an introduction to some of the basic tools. Just to go over it again, shapes or the rectangles, ellipses, etc. can be found over here. Selection and direct selection. Fill, double click it, changes the fill color. Stroke, double click it, change the stroke color. So I hope that gets you going. Good luck.